Hello and welcome again to Living by Design. Today we're going to talk cancer, how to beat it by preventing it. A long time ago, somebody told me that if somebody has cancer very seriously and they do not respond to treatment, they actually want to go. And that was about my mother. I was very upset when I heard that. And she explained quite a few things to me, and I understood really that with my knowledge of genetics, that what she says made a lot of sense. Now I'm going to demonstrate a little bit about what she has explained to me and how we understand genetics. We know that we all have genes, we are born with them, we cannot change them, they are in our bodies. It makes us grow and it makes us what it is, so it doesn't change. They speak about cancer genes, which means those genes are there when we are born. So why doesn't it affect us? Let's first have a look at what a gene is. I'm going to use this model as a demonstration of what a gene is. If we look at this black part, white, and this one peg here, this forms a little unit. And a few of these units together is what they say constitutes a gene, or even sometimes maybe more of it is required to actually give effect. The gene is actually part of our DNA. A lot of these genes actually constitute a DNA molecule. Now if we look at this as the DNA molecule, I'm going to put this next to the old model and you can see it has the same format. We have this unit and the steps in between are these that we see here. So this is just a long row of these units that makes up the DNA molecule. Now the DNA molecule carries the message of what we should be like, of what our body should be like, of what the body requires. And that message is a very precious message, and a very private message needs to be in an envelope. So the DNA molecule becomes enveloped. It is in an envelope of protein. So this is DNA, and if we take this sleeve as the protein, the DNA actually is embedded and protected inside this protein. So let's look at this. There we go. This is our DNA inside, and this is the protein that covers it. And as we see the DNA spirals in here, DNA in reality actually also forms a spiral, like a spiral staircase, and it is enveloped in this protein. And this unit is part of what we call a chromosome. If we look at this one tube here, it is equivalent to one of these, the DNA molecule and the protein. This one the same, a DNA molecule and the protein, and it is bound together by another protein, and this whole forms a chromosome. Now this is not a lesson in genetics. I merely want us to understand why it is important that we have the psyche to keep some of the genes hidden as long as we can. How this works is that when we have a need, for example, when something is required in the body needs to make a protein, for example, then the message is copied and the DNA strand opens up like this. And as it opens up, the message is copied. Like I said, this is not a lesson in genetics. Merely I want to demonstrate that a message is copied along here, a message is copied along this way when there is a need, when there has been a trigger. Some of the genes in our body are suppressed as long as it can. For example, the cancer gene. As long as our psyche is strong enough, that section of the chromosome remains intact, doesn't open up. And it's like when our immune system weakens, we have an infection. In the same way, when our psyche goes down so far that we don't want to fight any longer, then the genes, for let's say this is where the cancer gene was, it was suppressed all the time, but now it opens up and now it's being copied. It can be at any stage of your life. It can be when you are young, it can be when we are very old. We know that all of us have these genes, and some of us never get cancer. Some of us, in the family, there's a family history of cancer, but nothing happens to us. Partially because our psyche is strong enough, the will to live is strong enough. There is no feeling of despondency that says, I really can't live with myself right now. Sometimes we have feelings like that, but not strong enough to trigger the opening of this section. So when the DNA molecule opens at the cancer section, and depending also how much of it opens and how much of it is being copied, the cancer will be spread in whichever part of the body that is. In whichever part we have a predisposition. For example, in our family, we have breast cancer as a predisposition. My mother, her sisters, many family members, many of my cousins had breast cancer. Many of them survived it, some of them didn't. And like I said, when I was told that if somebody does not respond to any treatment, they don't want to continue. It's just that I've had enough of my life, I've had a good life, and I'm ready to go. It's not suicide, it's not I want to die. It's just the body says I've had enough. And psychologically, we are ready to go into the year after. I know somebody said, don't cry for me. I'm ready to go. It was so on us to listen to something like that, but it's enlightening for the person who suffers. So let us understand that when there is a cancer, that it's not by choice, but circumstances sometimes force a person to just let go, and the body then will give into the opening of this part of a chromosome that will expose the cancer genes, and the cancer cells would be formed. The cancer would then grow to the extent that the cancer part of the chromosome has been opened. Right, so in addition to good exercise, in addition to a good diet, exercise, and healthy mind, and that is the reason that the videos that I have uploaded previously address these issues. How we can stay positive, how we can eat healthily to have a healthy body, why and how we should do exercises. All these videos are preloaded so that we can understand that there is a need for the body to stay healthy, for the mind to stay active, for the mind to be healthy, for our psyche to be healthy, so that we can prevent that cancer genes from opening up. I know it will happen to some people along the way. It might happen to me today or tomorrow. We don't know what lies ahead. But just getting just remembering the message that as long as we keep those genes suppressed, and we can keep it suppressed with hormones, the way our hormones work in the body, the way what we have things like pheromones, we have lots of chemicals in the body that drives our physiology. As long as we keep a good balance of that and we keep the right chemicals going, we will be cancer free. It's nobody's wish to have the big C, but it does happen, and I hope that this message will help many of us to be cancer free, or to understand that when somebody has developed cancer, it is not because of a lifestyle. The colon might be prone to cancer if it is subjected to certain chemicals. Some parts maybe of the body, if subjected to certain chemicals from the outside, it can develop cancer. But if we look at breast cancer, maybe pancreatic cancer, etc. What is there that can affect it other than from the inside? So let's keep our psyche good. Let's help one another be happy. Let's help one another have a positive outlook on life. And if we feel down, that we seek the kind of help. I hope that this video delivers the message that is intended.